Yes, and that leads us obviously to wonder who on earth has that kind of security.
Well, and who has the capability and expertise, as you say, to coordinate this level of attack, and also to time it in the way they timed it. But I think we've got a lot more to see before the thing's over.
Well, we have, therefore, we're talking about at least 5 separate incidents that occurred in the space of an hour. That is military precision.
That is military precision, and it takes a great deal of expertise and coordination to achieve that sort of level.
I imagine you've probably visited the Pentagon in your time. That is a formidable place, and a place that none of us ever imagined could ever be the subject of assault.
I think the whole thing is demonstrating, and something which I've always believed, is that there's no such thing as total security. And if you have people who have the sort of expertise that we're now seeing, who are absolutely ruthless and prepared to commit suicide whilst they're doing their attack, then I think there is no such thing as security, and nowhere is safe anywhere.
I am listing here the number of security operations worldwide who are saying they knew nothing about this. The Israelis had no intelligence on it. The United States had no intelligence on it. Great Britain had no intelligence on it. This surely shows a far greater vulnerability than any missile defense system and vulnerability to rogue states with nuclear missiles.
Well, I think the Prime Minister, Blair, has put his finger on it, that terrorism is the greatest scourge at the moment, and we should be concentrating as much on that as we do on nuclear missile defense, because it's very easy to get a suitcase bomb into a building, or indeed, as we discovered, for someone to shoot the pilot and fly an aeroplane themselves into a building like the World Trade Center.
Do you see then a pretty rapid and emergency, if anything, redirection of intelligence in the West?
I would say there'll be a tremendous redirection of intelligence. It's already been happening, and as you know, President Clinton announced a major program of security, global security, for American institutions around the world, because he rightly believed that the scourge of international terrorism was something which everyone should be ready to confront.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Now, in the last few minutes, Jack Straw, the Foreign Secretary, has been speaking, and let's go to him now. But there are real tragedies for the victims, for the families, for those cities and towns, for the communities of America, for the United States, and I have to say for the peace and stability of the world. Our first thoughts go to the victims and their loved ones. I've already passed my condolences to Colin Powell, the United States Secretary of State for Defense, and we've also told the United States government that we stand ready to give whatever help we can to assist in tracking down the perpetrators behind this evil and ensuring that they are brought to justice. The Prime Minister has called a meeting of senior ministers later today. As soon as he gets back from Brighton, officials are already meeting in the COBRA emergency planning briefing room. Alert states for government buildings, civilian and military, have been raised in the United Kingdom. Alert states for diplomatic posts across the world have been raised. Jack Straw talking just a few minutes ago, and these are the earlier shots of the last of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center collapsing in New York as a result of a twin terrorist attack. 2 planes, 9 o'clock, 18 minutes past, smashing into the World Trade Center at a high level. Gabby Rado, we're hearing something now about one of those planes.
Yes, the first details are coming through at quite a late stage, really. American Airlines have announced that it's their Flight 11 from Boston to Los Angeles, which is a Boeing 767, which crashed into one of the towers. Now, they're still not saying exactly how many people were on that plane, but they say it can carry up to 158 passengers. 158 people, which includes 10 flight attendants and 2 pilots. But again, we still haven't had any details. We must reflect on what a huge lapse of airport security, airports security.
Many times.
Many times over took place here. I mean, the airlines were trying to learn the lessons of Lockerbie, which happened, the fault seems to have...
I mean, it does actually suggest that they have some weapon that defies
confuses
Must do, because I don't think you'd have 5 failures in different airports all at the same time.
Absolutely sure. There are some airlines which have been turning their flights back mid-Atlantic.
Yes. Yeah, there's a Finnair that's come all the way back from the mid-Atlantic to Helsinki. Well, now, just to recap then, the planes were believed to have been hijacked, as you heard, from Boston. They carried out their first attacks on the World Trade Center in New York at around 9 a.m. American time. Then within an hour, there was another attack on the Pentagon in Washington and another attack on the U.S. State Department, also in Washington. Soon after that, there was a plane crash in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The latest news is that there is a hijacked jumbo heading westwards towards Washington. Now, Lindsay Taylor has a roundup of the news so far.
COBRA, which is the Emergency Planning Committee of the Cabinet. At that meeting, there will be the military and the security chiefs. Jack
crashes into one of the symbols of America.